hope everybody's having a great weekend, and I hope traders and investors alike will be green this week. Before we get started, I just want to point out that we're going to see some interesting patterns coming into the energy sector. We'll check those out. I also want to talk about a catalyst coming up this week. So we have the FOMC minutes being released at 2 o'clock Wednesday. That's big. That can be a nice market mover for us. Either way, we never know which way it's coming, but we definitely know how to play it and make money on it. All right, we also have OPEC week coming up this week, so that's options expiration week. The people in the Discord know what I expect on options expiration week. Basically the beginning of the week's choppy. We can even see some pulling back. They usually run it into the end of the week. They do this to try to burn. They're trying to take out some of the value of the expirations that are heading to towards to expiry on Friday. So they just kind of their job is to knock the prices down so they're not paying so much out. All right, so let's get into the charts. All right, AMC, I like AMC here above this 200. Just down candle Monday. Not really too worried about it. I would love to see it pull back and reconnect with this 9, or hang out here, form a base, and let the 9 catch up. I'm not crazy when they're super extended, but I'm bullish over top this 200. And if the apes want to come for it, we'll definitely day trade it. So this is the put to call ratio. We were at 94. That is neutral. All right, now this is the Nasdaq. The oscillator for the Nasdaq is 277, so that is hot. The New York Stock Exchange is 236, so we're hot there. I prefer to be under 200, and 200 top. Now we can definitely move higher, but coming into OPEC week, expecting some chop, maybe even some pulling back, and I don't mean new lows in the market, but just maybe seeing some pulling back due to the OPEC week. Maybe we can get these to cool off without doing any serious damage to the market. The SPX, you can see the SPX weekly here. We are moving up towards the 50, so that is a big level to watch. You can see the 50 is just starting to slightly go into a downtrend here, starting to descend. 50 pushing up. Hopefully we can change that. Got a nice MACD here on the 50. Or a nice MACD on the weekly chart. That's a good sign, and the SPX is the S&P 500. The U.S. dollar last week, in the last video we were expecting it to go sideways. That's exactly what we're getting. It pushed up into the 50 here, took the 50 out, and almost touched the 9 before pulling back. Let's see what it does tomorrow. Right now we are over that 50. The VIX has been in this downtrend for a while. We're right back to the bottom of the downtrend, this little channel here. It's a descending channel. And you can see every time we come down here, we bounce. Took 3 days, or 2 days before we pushed up. Hit this area, we started to push up. Hit this area, started to push up. Now, this is a very bullish market, but you can see the technicals are showing us that we're hitting this area. And there's a good chance that we can see a push up. Now, I'm not saying try to trade it to the top of the channel, but I can see definitely some UVX calls may pay this week. The VIX 15-minute chart, you can see trying to put in a little rounded bottom down there. Crude, you can see this little bear flag here. So it went up into hit resistance, hit the 200, and pulled back. 9 is support rate right now, but it flagged right up into resistance and pulled back. Our trend chart, short-term bullish, medium-term trend is still bullish. The long-term trend is still bearish, but it's changing quickly. This market is super bullish, and it does need some pulling back, and I don't mean new lows. It needs, would be nice to pull back to the 9, possibly the 20. This is the bullish percent index on the New York Stock Exchange. So basically, this is telling us right now that that 83% of the stocks in the New York Stock Exchange are above their 50-day moving average. It's telling us that 44% is above their 200-day moving average. That's getting healthier and healthier compared to the last time we looked at this chart. We were in the 30s. And we were, I believe, in the 70s. So we're steady getting healthier. We don't look at this chart every day. So in the S&P 500, this is telling us that 48% is above their 200-day moving average, but 92% is above their 50-day moving average. That is really, that's really good numbers. You can see even in 2021, we didn't make it here. We made it here during this brief time in May, but we didn't make it here a lot. You can see, above for stocks that are above the 50-day. Now, we held better above the 200, but when it comes to the 50-day, so this is, short-term bullish right now. So we're still not getting signals for to be long-term bullish, but we're still seeing signs of being short-term bullish. And guys, we need to stay bullish until the market gives us a reason. Now, I know the fundamental backdraft of everything, there's reasons to be bearish on the market, but we need to remain bullish on this market until it gives us a technical reason not to be. So many people out here still shorting. Unfortunately, a lot of the big money bears that were shorting the market are now just starting to open up calls. And it's coming into the time that, it looks like we really need to pull back, and they're just now starting to turn bullish. And, at the time that looks like we're starting to need to pull back, there's so many people that are running behind. They look at fundamental reasons and they're so bearish on the market. When the market's screaming I'm bullish, it's screaming I'm bullish right now. I mean, it's crazy bullish. I'm looking for charts that haven't overrun to find us some stuff to trade. We're definitely going to day trade. If they're hot, that's fine. We can day trade them, but I'm looking for stuff that we can get in and try to swing trade or be a little more comfortable trading without being so hot for some of the members who look for more comfortable plays. So we got Apple here. This was the perfect day. Last Tuesday, we pulled back to this 9, and Wednesday, we got right up, unfortunately, on them numbers, on the CPI numbers. This is exactly what I was looking for, a touch of this 9, and they kind of run the market up in pre-market before we even had a chance to play options on it. But looks good there. AMD, I'm definitely watching the semis because we had a couple semis in NVIDIA, MU, they come out and they guided down. So poor AMD got beat up a little worse than NVIDIA and didn't even guide down, which is really not fair. But definitely want to watch the semis this week because they are not as extended. I mean, AMD's had a nice run, but you can see, the last, week and it has definitely not been as bullish as some of these other stuff that's super extended. So maybe we can get some good plays on some of these semis this week. Even MU and Qualcomm looking good. I didn't include those charts. We're at 100 now, and I try not to break 100 in this video. So you have AMD's weekly chart. You can see the pullback that we had last week, but we still held the 20. Chart still looks good. Bands are looking like they want to try to cross here on the weekly. Your MACD saying bullish. RSI is kind of still hanging out here. It was on its way up and kind of paused last week. So let's see what that weekly RSI wants to do. Affirm, this downtrend seemed like took forever, but when we started to pound our way out of it, we started to work up. I mean, you can literally draw a downtrend rate on that. Seems like every time it starts coming back, that downtrend, it bounces. The 9's what I'm looking for. We started to come back to the 9 here, and then we ripped back up. I would like to see some of these names pull back to the 9, and we could get those pullbacks this week with options expiration week. This is a firm's 15-minute chart. You can see it pushed up nicely, which we've seen that in the trading room Friday. It gave us some nice trades in the afternoon. AA, we talked about this inverted head and shoulders that was forming last week. It hadn't quite formed when I did last Sunday's video. Now it had finished forming, broke out, got outside of your Bollinger Band, and is pulling back in for a kind of a retest with this 9 coming up. Let's see if we can continue to push this week. We were bullish on some of the material names last week and got some nice moves out of them. AMR, inverted head and shoulders. This is another material name. Got this little inverted head and shoulders here. It has broken out of this pattern, so this pattern is now confirmed. What do I want to see now? I want to see it hold this neckline tomorrow morning. I need to see a candle open up over that neckline, and I will be interested in trading it. Liquidity is not huge with this stock. This is a tradable asset, but it's a little hard to move in and out of sometimes. So this is more of a slower moving swinger type trade. You want to buy a little time. Amazon 15-minute, you can see we pulled back Friday and just ripped into the end of the day. AMBA, you got this little tabletop here with a shakeout. So it's testing resistance is what it's doing. It's testing resistance, got rejected. You got this shakeout candle down here, got back above the 9, respecting the 9. When we went up to hit resistance here, look how far extended we were. So we come down. This time's a little different. The 9's moving up with us. Maybe we can take that area of resistance out and look for a trade there. This is AMC's 15-minute chart. You can see it pulling back on Friday on the 15. It did take the 200 out and retook it at the end of the day. And after hours, you can see for some reason it dipped below right at the end of the night there. AMD, you can see this little cup action right here on the 15. So the last 2 days it's traded, it's formed this little cup, kind of like a handle here. See if maybe this may want to break out this week. Like I say, we have pulled back a little bit, and these, have taken a break. So they got a little rest period on some bearish news, and why some other names have been run up. They may want to come after these semis this week. Amazon, I like this one as well. I like it better over this 200 now. We definitely need to get over this 200, but it popped up on some earnings, on some excitement. Put in this little base here instead of just running wild. It's been able to form a little base here at the 200. Let it, respecting the 9. So hopefully this week we can push up above this 200. This is one that's not as extended as some of the other ones. Some of these other ones are just crazy extended. You can see Apple's 15-minute chart here, steady push. You can see Apple's weekly chart. I mean, this thing has just been on a tear. But you got a nice strong MACD here. To me, Apple is as extended here. I would love to see a pullback to that 9. Preferably, I'd like to see it pull back to the 20, get a retest, and then push up. Take a break, get a breather, and build a base for the next move up instead of just steady running. A lot of times when you get them that steady run, the bigger pullback when it comes. If they'll pull back, earlier and take a break, a lot of times you can get another big move out of them. But when they just steady run, there's usually a huge pullback coming. So AWK, this inverted head and shoulders here, wants to work. It broke out right into the 200. If this can get to the 200, respecting the 9, if this can get above this 200, I believe this has room to move. This is another one that does not have the greatest liquidity in the options. Day tradable for shares, is tradable with shares. Check the options on it. You may find a good strike, and you may be able to play it with liquidity coming into more of a slower moving type trade, though. It's not something you want to look to get in and out of quickly. Boeing Daily here. We talked about this flag last week. We got a small move up. Notice your 9's kind of flattening off there. 20's pushing up. Okay, Bitcoin. This is a chart that I posted a chart in the Discord, and I said that I would mention. So on Webull, you got this 200. Your 200 Mac. You have your MACD here. In Webull, it's crossed. Here on stock chart, it's not quite crossed yet. It's trying. The PPO is not crossed yet. Now let's talk about the 200. So we are holding back above this 200, which is a great sign. We were struggling there. We had dipped down below it last week. So right now we're back above it strong. We're holding it strong. We're above the 9 as well. So the 20s up here, I would like, I can see Bitcoin moving up. I would watch for resistance right back at the top of this candle. When we get past this candle, I would look for the 20. But for now, we're still holding at 200. At 200 was the major level that, we had to get above. We were able to take it out. Little pullback last week, but we were able to open back above it, and we are above it now. Bitcoin Daily, we're above our major moving averages here. This wants to push up. Just not a whole lot of power in it yet, but we are still getting, you can see, still getting higher highs. And the chart that I posted in the Discord shows an ascending triangle. You can draw a line right through here, draw your line coming up, and you got a bottom ascending triangle. The question was a falling wedge was looking, there was a member was looking at a falling wedge that had it drawn something like this through here. And the biggest thing about a falling wedge usually, so the pattern he drew looked a lot like the pattern he posted up for an example. So we had this pullback here. If that would have been, so basically if he would have gotten that same pattern right here at the downtrend, it would look more like a bear flag pushing up, but it would actually be a falling wedge, but it would come off of your downtrend. That's where you would be looking more for that type of falling wedge. In this case, Bitcoin had time to pound the bottom out here, and now it's trying to push up. So I hope that makes sense. That's the difference between those two patterns. Boeing here, 15-minute chart. You can see Friday, it had a decent day. It doesn't really, this doesn't look like a huge move or nothing, but we chopped around, had a nice push up, flagged right back into your moving averages on the 15, and then ripped up again. And, was not strong enough to take out the daily high, but it's right there on it. So that's a sign of strength. AVGO, Broadcom, I put in this rounded bottom, kind of cuffish here, pull back. I like this above this resistance level. If we take that out, you got your 200 right there. It's not a bad looking chart. It's, you can see a lot of these other names that have not yet pulled back like this. So this had a nice run, and it took a few days off, pulled back, settled back to the 9. That's kind of what I would like to see Apple and some of these other names do before they had this catastrophic pullback. BTU, I'm not saying I won't day trade them. I'm not saying that we'll come in here and day trade them. Just saying that, those are the things that we're seeing. We could use a pullback to that, at least a 9, preferably the 20, put in a base and push back up. So BTU to me is interesting here. Arch has been running wild. It's two of our cold names we watch. BTU has pounded this double bottom out here and is testing this neckline. It's not perfect. It's not straight, but this chart's worth watching. You see your moving averages trying to turn up here. This one's definitely worth watching. You see your Bollinger Bands opening up. See, we're above the 50. See if we can get this one to move up. Got some very interesting energy names in this list today. Charge point, we talked about this last week. I said I liked it, trying to break out of this base, but I liked it above the 200. You can see, look at the move it made when it got above that 200. When it finally was able to get above that 200, the volume just poured into it and pushed it up. See, watch this name for some follow through. It's made a nice move. Now, Chewy, we watched this chart for a while it banged around on this, didn't look like it was doing much, resistance. When it did take it out, got rejected at the 200, pull back. So what do you have here? You got a nice cup and handle. Breaking out of this would have made a nice trade, especially above this 200, because you see rejection there. That's where I would have been looking for an entry, would have been above that 200. Still worth watching for day trades. CLR, we got a coil here pounding up into a tabletop. It's not really an ascending triangle, but it is bullish. This does want to move up. It's testing this resistance. That's just how I look at this, coiling up into a tabletop. And this definitely wants to push up. Another name, the liquidity is not the best in all the time, so please check it. A CVX, I didn't draw it out. It's not really textbook, but you can kind of see the cup and handlers here as well. Not as strong as some of these other names, but this one's still definitely worth keeping an eye on this week. Your CVX 15-minute chart, you can see the little cup action here as well. on the 15-minute chart. See if we can take out, tomorrow I would be even more bullish on this, taking out Friday's high, taking out pre-market highs and Friday's high. XLE, you can see it's not as clear as some of these other charts, but you can see the cup and handle action going on there. So we are getting some really nice patterns here, and like EQT, look how this chart is picture perfect, cup and handle. That is textbook picture perfect. Put in this cup, tested resistance, pull back, put in a handle right back to testing resistance. This is a name I have traded many times. It's not super liquid, but I was able to get in and out of it fairly well. So this one's definitely worth watching. This MACD is trying to pinch here. Some of these names break out, could buy a little time until the strike and try to ride them. You can use options as well I mean, that's a trade, but it's looking more at maybe like a passive income more than the way that I trade, because I am a strict day trader. For the most part, conditions got to be right to take any kind of swings. But some of those names are getting very swingable to where you can buy time until the strike and maybe let it ride for a few days, breaking out of a base. Google here is another name that kept testing this area. I did a video on this. There was a big bearish order come in and really never got the pullback was expected. It did pull back a little bit, but never got the pullback that was expected. So somebody had a $4+ million order betting on this to go down, and it did not happen for them. I hope they took some profits on that pullback there anyway. But we're breaking out here. One thing I want to mention here is Google's not extended like a lot of these other names are. Maybe we can, maybe the market will see this, be like, all right, we've run all these other big tech names up. What haven't we run up? Oh, look, Google. Let's go after Google and run it up. So let's keep an eye on this. I can see them move up to the 200 if they come for it. The market has to come for it, though. The Qs, this chart's still nice and bullish. We pull back here once again, pull right back to the 9, and it's trying to push up. This chart's not super extended. We're not that far off the 9. I can see a move up to this 200 possibly if the market holds. All right, so you can see the Qs here. Look at this cup it's put in. It took 2 days to do it on the 15-minute chart. Looks really good. Looks bullish. The only thing that worries me is OPEC week and how they treat them Mondays. The Qs here. Look at this chart. Just a nice push up breaking out of a falling wedge there. Nice cross on the MACD. I mean, so when I say I would like to see a pullback, I don't mean new lows in the market. I would just like to see a pullback, retest some of these names, really retest. Some of these names like Plug are just crazy run. They've just FOMO'd them to death. Bonds, we pull back to the 50 here. It has recovered to 50. I don't like how your 9's trying to swoop over on top of it. Market performs better when bonds are stronger. IWM, this is another one that's really getting a little hot here. Watch your 50-day. These 50 days are big levels, big levels, and we've talked about that. Some of these names have recovered them, just like this 200's a big level. IWM took it out. That's awesome. We took it out. Hopefully we can hold it tomorrow, hold it this week. Nice push up there on the 15. IWM strong on Friday. LWLG, I don't know how the liquidity is, but this is a nice looking chart. For some reason they come after it big time, run it up, took it back above the 200 here. Then they put in a base. This is a small symmetrical triangle. Bull pennant, however you want to look at it. Like for me, this is a symmetrical triangle, but it doesn't really matter what we call the pattern as long as we're looking at the same pattern that millions of other traders are looking at. So you can see that we banged around in this area. I don't like the liquidity here, but this is definitely a tradable stock for people looking to trade shares. I don't, honestly, I have no idea what the liquidity is in the options market, but this is definitely a tradable stock. For shares, I'd keep an eye look for a breakout there. Lift looks decent here. Pushed up, put in this little bull pennant, respecting the 9. little flag there respecting the 9. Mara, looking at Mara here, it's just strong. Eventually here I would expect a pullback to the 9, but right now, it's strong. I would not try to bet against this until you get proper technicals telling you that it's going to pull back. I can see signs of this pulling back with another indicator I use, but for now, we need to see the technical signs of and when I say a pullback, I'm looking for a pullback to the 9, possibly the 20, but a pullback to the 9, just like what we had here. You pushed up, pull back to the 9, you launch. Pull back to the 9, launch, or wait to the 9 reconnects and waiting for a launch. The 200, if they do keep coming after it, the 200, we could hit the 200 here with no problems. Meta, a good week last week, back above. So basically it was trading in this wedge, got pushed down under this resistance level here. The bottom of the wedge was resistance. We took that out back above the 9 on the weekly. The 20 is resistance now, but it's quite a big deal that we took that level out there. Meta, you can see this downtrend here. Earnings after earnings, this thing just keeps getting destroyed. I think it's 5 earnings in a row they've guided down now, and that's just not healthy. Some of the volume, when gapping down, this was an earnings play that it gapped down. That one right there, the volume was really nasty, and I talked about that and give reasons not to really try to buy that dip. A lot of people thought they were going to get in there and it was just going to go straight back up. And YouTubers and everybody were telling people to buy this. I was screaming, please don't. You see where we are. Meta 15, you can see we've chopped around the last couple of days. Microsoft has taken this resistance level out here. This actually this is April and May kind of mid-April level into May. We were able to push above that, so we closed above that. Your 50 is your next target here. We take this 50 out, we should be able to push up. Or, I'm sorry, your 200. If we take the 200 out, we should be able to push up. Microsoft, you can see the run at Friday just had a very nice run. I was actually expecting a pullback. I don't mean a big pullback, but a lot of times, you had a bearish reversal signal here in your candles. You had a bearish engulfing. A lot of times you can get your next 1 to 3 candles would be a pullback. So I missed that Friday. I was expecting a pullback to the 9 and then push, or at least a 1-day pullback and then push. And it come out of the gate ripping. I kind of thought the same thing with Apple. I thought we would get a pullback on Apple as well. And I was wrong. But, I didn't come in here trying to short it or go against it. I let the price action tell me, I let the market tell me the market liked it. I definitely would not try to short it. I find these signals, but overall, I don't just place a bet or place a trade. I have to see the technicals. Listening to the market is huge. Letting the market tell you where to go is huge. MRO, you can almost see the cup and handle here as well. Still not trading as well as some of these other names. Netflix, we pushed. We were been worried about this gap. We pushed right up into it, got rejected, pushed right back into it Friday. See if we can get into this gap this week. Your MACD's trying to give us some momentum there. Nike has put in this coil here, same type of pattern I talked about earlier, coiling up into a tabletop. Friday it closed a candle. Thursday we kind of got a false breakout. We pushed up, pulled back. Friday we pushed up and closed. Tomorrow I would like Nike better if tomorrow's candle opens up above this level, and that will confirm that breakout. Then maybe we can get a move up. It's another one that has not ran yet. Compared to a lot of these other names like Nvidia here, it started to get hot, pulled back, started to get hot right into resistance, the guide down and all that, pull back to your 50 for support, and has pushed back up right here. So right now we're back above the 9. I am worried about this resistance level, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't trade it. It just means I'm going to be ready to take profits when we get to it. definitely watching those. I hope that makes sense. That's a lot of these other names have run so hard, trying to find the names that haven't ran so hard that they may want to come after this week. We can see this in our option flow that we watch to help us in our decision making. You know, that helps show us where the money's going. So we got Oxy here. I found the chart that I put out in the beginning of the year saying to buy it, and this thing's moved 148% since I said buy Oxy here. Oxy pulled back a little bit Friday, kind of had a rough day, not really much going on there on Friday. You can see the daily chart here. Need to take this level out. We can get above this level. I can see it moving up, but just been putting in a nice base there, really. Hopefully it's getting ready for the next move up, but we'll see. Palantir come down. So we were pushing up. Earnings come out. This thing slammed back down, took this resistance in the 50 out. Has chopped its way back above it, trying to hold on there. 20 is resistance here. Palantir 15-minute chart. You can see it had a nice push up Friday. PBF, this is another name. This is not as textbook as some of them, but you have your cup, you have your handle. PBF, yeah. You have your cup and handle here. Definitely worth watching above all your major moving averages. Look at your MACD. You can almost see your cut right there. You can see it right there. It's trying to show us some momentum. It's another name we'll be watching this week for a move up. Maybe some swingable trades there. I'm not talking long-term swings. I'm talking a couple of days. Buy some expirations with some time into them and see if we can make some money that way. Pendleton here put in this rounded bottom. You know, look at your moving averages. Your moving averages are turning up. Your 50 is even trying to turn up. When's the last time the 50 even tried to level off? I mean, you know, I wish I would have, you know, opened up leaps on this way back here on December 8th when we were bearish on the stock, and of course I didn't. I just don't trade that way, but that would have just printed this whole time. You can see it come down here, pounded on this support, pushed up, but when it's taking it out down here, you can see that was a huge level. You could have went short on that level at any time and got a pullback, but now it's above it. We're seeing a trend change. We're seeing a character change here. Look at your moving averages trying to turn up. Nice candle on Friday. This is another name I don't talk about much. I like this. I've been able to trade this stock with shares several times. I don't know how the options liquidity is in this, but you do have a gap here. It gapped up probably on earnings. I'm not sure why it gapped up. Testing this 200. If this gets above this 200, this can probably push up. Would be a nice trade for like a swing type trade with shares. Plug. So plug here your over top resistance. Previous level of resistance here that I have drawn out. I'm not sure, but it's been on the chart for quite some time. Anyway, you're trying to hold that level into your Bollinger Band. Your 9's catching up here. I like the chart. We're overextended. You know, this could be one of the plays to look for if we have a choppy week. Watch some of these renewable energy type plays. They're really extended. You may be able to get a pullback if we do chop around and they do pull the market back a little bit. That may be a short opportunity, but you needed to pull back first. RMBS is another name. I'm not sure about liquidity, but you put in this nice cup, put in this nice little handle above resistance here. This is worth watching for a share type trade. Now, we do have members who are trading shares on stocks, so that's why I'm including these. It's not all options. Roblex, you know, strong breakout here, pushed up. I believe this was on the earnings. We pulled back on earnings. You know, they bought it back, run it up. Not crazy about that gravestone there. This is another one that usually after you get this pattern, you see 1 to 3 day pullback. Didn't happen. The market's just so bullish. You know, these pullback trades are not working right now. They may work tomorrow. This week we're looking at something a little different with OPEC week, so we may be able to get some of these type trades, but the market's just so bullish, guys. And if you're just now turning bullish, and a lot of the big players are in the market, you're getting slaughtered. You have to stay open-minded and keep up with the market. You know, put the FUD away. I even tell people, stop watching the FUD, watch the price action. If you can't separate the two, then stop watching it. You know, stop watching the news, stop listening to the rate hikes, because you know a lot of the numbers will scare you and help you remain bullish or bearish when this market is screaming it's bearish, or the market screaming it's bullish, and still so many players are trying to be bearish on the market. S&P 500, nice looking MACD above this level we talked about. Your next level is the 200. I can see a move up to the 200. CRM chopping around. See if they'll come for this name this week. Look at this trend line. Every time it's pushed up, comes to this trend line, pushes, comes here, pushes up a little bit. So we're right back. But also pay attention. Look at the distance between there and there. Then look at the distance between here and here. It's returning to that trend line sooner. So we may soon see some weakness coming into this stock. Looks like we're at a previous level of resistance. If we drew a level from this flag across, we're at a previous level of resistance, and we're trying to pull back. Watch this level. We lose this trend line, I would look for a pull down to the 20. But as so far, that trend line's been the place to look for entries. So many people are still trying to sell the pops. Every time the market pushes up, they're still trying to sell that, and that's actually helping the market, you know, pushing up, because they got to come back in and cover them shorts and covering them shorts, and that's actually helping some of this stuff push up because people are steady trying to sell these rips. Guys, that worked months ago. Right now, the market's bullish. You know, back in February, it was a sell the rip market. That's not this market. This market is extended. It's overheated. It's overly bullish, and that's how you got to trade it to make money. We have to stay open-minded. CRM, you can see this cup action right here as well. I like the 15-minute chart. Maybe we can get a move up, but we also can see on that daily chart that we're at a major level of resistance. So I will have to take that resistance level out before I'm overly bullish on it. Slumberjay, SLB, another stock that we've done good here in the Discord with, and it just needed to take a break. You can see the cup and handle action here. Same pattern, and it's an energy stock. You can see this in several different energy stocks. You can see the MACD's trying to open up, but for me, I need to be above this 250 here to be bullish on the stock. You can watch those levels. We can pull back from those levels. So right now, it's at a level of interest. Now is a good time to watch it. If we can't take that out, we can easily get a pullback to the 9 easily. We're at a major level, the 200 and the 50. But if we take them out, we can look for a nice move up with them. Snow it basically broke out of this base here, pushed up, come back for a retest, push up, respecting the 9 here. Trading in between the Bollinger Band and the 9. So we're right at the 9. See if we can get a push up on this tomorrow. It's a name that they haven't overran up. You know, it's not super extended. It's not a name they've come in and FOMO'd on yet. SoFi, kind of a flat day. It did grind up Friday right into that 200. SoFi Daily had this nice push up and was hanging out waiting on the 9s. Anytime you get a nice pop like that, that's normally what you see. I was actually, my number here to look for a re-entry was, I believe, was 733. I don't know if we made it that far back down yet or not. But so now looking at the 9 would be a nice place to look for an entry and to trade it responsibly. If you go back and look at that MACD. So look at the MACD's cooling off there. So it's one of those ones that the MACD's telling you that you can trade it if it works. You know, great. If it doesn't work, when your MACD's run out of steam, if the trade doesn't work, get out of it. You know, it's that simple. The MACD's telling you there could be problems coming up. You know, you can trade it, but if it doesn't work, cut it. SPY. So this is the SPY weekly. You can see this 50-day here. So we're going back to the 50. We're going to take another look at this 50 in a different chart. But you got a good looking MACD here. You're above all your major moving averages except for your 50. If you take that out, this market may really try to push here. This is a monthly chart. This candle has not closed yet. Obviously, we're still trading. It takes, it takes a month to put these candles in. I like this bottom down here. So we pushed up for August. We've taken the 20 out. And here as well, we're right into the 9. If we can continue to push up and see this close at the end of the month above that 9, I'll feel even better about the market. But just another level that we are at that we have to be careful with. You can see on the daily, we're running into the 200. I think I said last week, I thought we were going to go to the 200 at least, but getting above that 200 is looking a little extended there. You can see the SPY, big push on Friday. That would have made a nice trade, very nice trade. So you have the SPY. This is a weekly chart. It's a 20-year chart. So you can see getting below the 50, but when we pushed back up and took that 50 out, we retested, but it was over. Pulled down, took the 50 back, retested, but it was over. All right, now, but you can look here, and back in 2016, there was some things going on with the economy that were similar, to what's going on now. Here we lost the 50, took it back, lost it again. So let's not get too overwhelmed. I'm seeing some people saying if we take this 50 back, it's completely, it'll be over and we can just run on. Just wanted to point out that there has been times where we did take the 50 back and we have pulled back. Some people are looking at this saying if we take this 50 back, it's guaranteed over, bullish, and trade responsibly, guys. Square push up here, but it's put in this nice base at a resistance level. I like seeing this. Respecting the 9, putting in a nice base. See if we can take this resistance out this week. If we do, we should be able to get a nice move up. You can see XLK right into the 200 here. Can we take the 200 out on these charts? Some individual assets already have, but our ETFs need to still take these levels out. Tesla's weekly chart, pretty flat last week. Read the week before, coming into the stock split. We had some steady, several candles that closed back below this 9 after retesting it. Friday, we had a strong day, closed back over this 9. Can we take this 200 out? We take this 200 out. You can see it took it out and got pulled back. But it was so extended when it took it out, pulled back in. This is different. This time it has the 9 a lot closer to it. See if we can take that out this week. We still got 2 weeks before the split. See if Tesla will get a strong run into the split. The market's different right now from when some of these other names had just split. This is in a very FOMOing, bullish market. Let's see if they will continue to FOMO on these names. See this nice push up. Very nice push up here Friday. Strong move. Twitter, I like it above this 200, but it's got so much drama going on with it. UNG, very volatile on Friday, but those moves make good day trade money. Catching those moves like that. You can see the cup and handle here on UNG, another energy name, banging out that same pattern. Upstart, that we're above this 50, but look at your moving averages. Your moving averages are turning here. You're seeing a different chart. You're seeing a different character in this market, and we are back above the 50. Let's see if we can start moving up here. You can see the little cupish action here as well. You see the cup and a handle. Friday, we kind of put in a candle for the cup. See if we can move up this week. Venom, V-E-V-N-O-M, Viper Energy. Cup and handle. This has taken out the resistance level. See if we can push up here this week. Wells Fargo weekly, we don't always show this chart, but I just wanted to show this because we are right into resistance on some of these banks. See Wells Fargo 15-minute chart. We were able to take this prior. This is, all these lines are old. I haven't drawn any lines on these charts in a while, so when we're coming back into them, we drew them on the way down. So now we're coming back into them, watching them work. taking this level out. We held that for support Friday. As choppy as Friday was for the banks in pre-market, Walmart coming into earnings this week, right back to this resistance level. See if we can take this out. This gap's filled. If we can take this out, I'd watch for your 200. Looks like that's just about to the bottom of your gap there. And then we'll look for a gap fill. See how these earnings are doing. Oh, look at the XLF here. Look at these gaps. If the market does pull back, we're extended here. They FOMO'd on these last week. You know, we were looking at this flag expecting a push up, and they just totally FOMO'd on the banks last week. Some money was made in the Discord on these as well. But look for gap fills if going into an OPEC week. You know, if the market pulls back, if we need to see them pull the market back. If the market pulls back, some of these banks are overextended right now, and those are some names that maybe we can get some shorts on that may pull back easier, come into the gaps, and get the vacuum action of getting sucked into that gap. XOM, ExxonMobil, you can almost see the cup and handle here as well. Not quite as defined as some of the other names. Look at the MACD. Trying, you know, energy wants to push. We said this, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago. We said we could see action coming back into energy names. XOP, this is the oil and gas exploration sector. Or, yeah, you can see the cup and handle there. Once again, in this particular name, now we have a gap here, but in this particular name, we are above the level of resistance. Look at your Bollinger Band starting to try to open up for it. It's a good sign. And this concludes our video for today. I do apologize it's so long. We had a lot to go over. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the trading room.